A man would not take up, it says here, 30 was the prescribed age for priests. King David was 30. This was usually the time when a person would start a task, an important task in Jewish culture. So it's assumed that Jesus, the Messiah, would be 30 when he starts his commission. So how did King Herod know that the Messiah was being born and it was to be in Bethlehem? Well, this is very interesting. Daniel chapter 9, verse 25 says this, Bible prophecy. He says, "Know and understand this, from the issuing of the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem, which was 455 BCE, until the Anointed One comes." The Anointed One being the Christ. And then it mentions 70 weeks of years. What does that mean? Well, in the commentary in 9:24, it says, "Each day of these weeks may represent a year." Many interpret this period as a literal 70 weeks or 490 years, observing that Christ's death came at the end of 69 weeks, would be 483 years later. That puts you at 29 CE. You take 30 off because he was the Messiah, and you have the date. Well, the year when the Messiah would be born as a baby. We also have the location, because if we confirm that by turning to Matthew. Chapter 2. In Matthew chapter 2, it says here, this is because Herod asked the chief priests, is the Messiah really Jew? And where? Bethlehem? In chapter 2, verse 4, the commentary says this, the chief priests and teachers of the law were aware of Micah 5:2 and other prophecies about the Messiah. The Magi's news troubled Herod. He knew that the Jewish people expected the Messiah soon. It says, most religious leaders believed the literal fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecy. Therefore, they believed the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Ironically, and not only that, it says, Jesus was probably 1 or 2 years old when the Magi found him. By this time, Mary and Joseph were married, living in a house and intending to stay in Bethlehem. So Herod got the location, the city, and he got it's now. You need to do something about it. And because the wise kings, the Magi, left and didn't tell him, he then decided to have all the boys, baby boys, killed under the age of 2. So, what do we learn? Well, we learn that Almighty God took action immediately. Immediately sin